Hi everyone, hope you are doing well. So let's move to the next question from the same passage. And the direction from the passage is what? That answer the following question based on the information given below. So the direction for question is what? Answer the following questions based on the information given below. So I hope that you have understood the text. So what this text is all about? This text is all about the striking characteristic of the American women's suffrage movement, um, and it is given about some of the famous biographer like Elizabeth Cady and Stanton, right? And it is given idea about that what how African and American women uh, they have the potential to reshape uh, how they see the social and political movement these women participated in, and placing African and American women's contribution to the suffrage movement at the center rather than the periphery will dramatically shift our understanding of the fight for the vote, right? Uh, so if you talk about the suffrage movement, so suffrage movement is referring as nothing but voting right, uh, voting right, or right to vote. Uh, so right to vote movement. So let's move to the question. So what does the question ask here? The example of Ida Husted Harper and Susan B. and Anthony. So if you talk about that, Ida Husted Harper and Susan Bean Anthony. So where do we find out them? Yeah, that's called as Ida Husted Harper and Susan B. Anthony. Susan B. Anthony, right? And we are talking about another one, Elizabeth Cady Stanton. No. Uh, okay. Okay. Fine. No issue. Susan B. Anthony's collaboration with so and so, Ida Husted Harbor. Yes. Now, if you talk about that, Susan B. Anthony's collaboration in what became a three-volume history of her life, written by her close associate, Ida Husted Harper, is a prime example. So, what is that? It pointed the example of Ida Husted Harper and Susan B. Anthony. It offered in the passage to show what? Now, if you observe that, the first option stated what? The collaborative effort between suffrage leaders and their close associates in documenting their lives. So, the passage provides the example of Ida Hosted Harper and Susan B. Anthony, right? To illustrate the collaborative effort between suffrage leaders and their close associates in documenting their lives. So this is explicitly mentioned in the passage, like we find out that called as a uh, this process dates back to the 19th century when the different factions competed to cement their roles in the historical record of the still evolving movement. Susan B. Anthony's collaboration in what became a three-volume history of her life, written by her close associate Ida Hosted Harper, is a prime example. Hosted presents Anthony as a heroic figure, totally dedicated to women's rights, a model designed to inspire future generation, while also cementing Anthony's role as the personification of the struggle. Right. So in that case, we can say the collaborative effort between suffrage leaders and their close associate in documenting their lives. So we could consider that Ida Hostet and Susan B. Anthony offered in the passage to illustrate what? Illustrate the suffrage leader as well as close associate in documenting their lives. Hence, we consider option one would be correct. Let's look at the option two, the prevalence of heroic narratives in biographies of suffrage leaders. Now, option two stated about so, prevalence of heroic narratives in biographies of suffrage leaders. This specific example is not offered, right? Not offered in a way, not offered in not offered to illustrate that point. So in that case, this would be correct one, right? So option three, which is stated the historical difference of leading suffrage figure in shaping the narrative of the movement. Now, the passage does discuss the historical importance of leading suffrage figures, but this specific example is not offered to emphasize that aspect. Hence, we can eliminate this. Next is the competition among different factions to cement their role in the historical record of the suffrage movement. Now, in that case, option 4 suggests mention competitive among different factions to cement their role in the historical record of the suffrage movement, but this specific example is not offered to highlight that aspect. So here we can talk about option 1 could be the correct answer to this particular question. Hope you understood this. Let's move to the next.